I'm joined tonight with Samantha Barber. It wasn't too long ago Samantha feared for her life under the New Zealand health system. Suffering from anorexia, Samantha, now at the age of 22, lives to tell the story. Thank you so much for joining me today.
That's all right.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. And you?
Good. First of all, how old were you when you were diagnosed with anorexia?
So I was 17.
17 years old. Mm-hmm. And to the viewers at home, how would you describe anorexia?
Really misunderstood. A lot of people seem to think that it's you want to look this way, you want to, and all this sort of stuff, but it's actually more you want to feel a certain way. Like, I was not the typical, I want to dress nice. If you see what if I would prefer to wear today, track pants and stuff, I definitely am not the vain type, and everyone seems to think it's this vain thing. But no, it's more you want to feel. Or in my case, I wanted to disappear more, and I thought by getting smaller, I would disappear faster. And then, yeah.
That's really interesting. Do you think that anorexia, or any mental health for that matter, is taken seriously in New Zealand?
It's getting more serious, like the depression ads, because the famous people have got it. But no, eating disorders are still totally misunderstood and don't have enough funding.
Right. And with anorexia classed as a mental illness with the highest mortality rate, how do you feel about that? Do you think that's true?
Yes, I'm one of the lucky ones. I was given a week to live, but I had too much fight in me, so unfortunately I survived. No, so now the healthcare system has to pay for me longer. No, but yeah, 3 of my friends in the past 2 years have passed away. The youngest was just turned 17, and he was actually a guy, which is also unusual. Well, they think it's unusual, but it's more common than you think.
Wow. What was it like, being given 1 week to live?
Well, I never really took things seriously. Like, I always thought I was always going to be fine. Like, nothing ever stopped me. Like, even when I was on a feeding tube, I used to cut out a picture of a magazine of like a Big Mac and stick it to the tube and say, this is what I'm having for the day. I never acted sick, so kind of when, and they didn't tell me until that week was up. They said we didn't, and they had already told my mum and said she wasn't going to make it, and I was in the room that they classed as the come in here and never leave kind of room, but I did, so I must have something to prove in this world.
Wow. Was there any point that you felt that the health system failed you?
Yeah, it does. I'm lucky that I got to go overseas for treatment, but you have to get pretty sick. Like, you have to pretty much be dead before you get seen to. And if you fail once at treatment, which is really silly because if someone fails chemo once, they don't get told, nah, ta-ta. But if you do fail once, then they're pretty much like, nah, this is your demise, this is you choosing to be like this. But you're not choosing to be like it. It's like, I explain it like a cancer. If you don't get rid of it completely and you leave just one cell, like, the government funds for you to get to a certain BMI, but you can get to a certain weight, and if you're thinking still the same, then you've still got the illness. You might look better, but you don't. So you leave that one cell, and like a cancer cell, it will multiply and multiply. Whereas this, you leave one cell of it, one thought of it, and it will multiply and multiply, and you're back at square one. But they go, well, you chose to go backwards, so
right.
Suck it up.
So if you could tell the health professionals something, if you could give them some advice, what would you tell them?
It's not attention seeking. It should be taken seriously, and get onto it quick. Don't say take them home and hunger will take over, because it doesn't. That's what they said to us when I did.
Even after giving, I don't know if you experienced it, but I heard that they give you hunger, these pills to give you hunger pains, but most people just still continue to refuse to eat. So
you don't, I don't know, you never really you don't feel hungry because you're so high on anxiety, and when people are anxious, people don't feel. I call it a full emotion, and if you feel full, you're not going to want anything.
Wow. Now you're 22. Did you, when you were really, really sick, although you were kind of very happy about it, did you feel like you were going to live?
I wasn't happy that I was sick, but I'm the type of one who won't ask for help because I didn't want to be selfish or anything, because that's part of my problem as well. And so I thought I was going to die. I kind of knew I was going to die. And I was actually down in Dunedin at the time in treatment in a psych ward for pretty much for criminally insane. I'm not criminally insane, by the way. It's just they had enough with me and didn't know where else to send me. So they sent me there. And so obviously they weren't able to cater for it. And I thought I was going to die. And I hadn't said goodbye to everyone important. So I said I had to come back. And they weren't going to let me. So I threatened to go to the media and they let me come back.
Were you allowed contact with family and friends while you were in?
No. I was allowed to see my mum for an hour a day, but in that time she had to give me a shower and stuff because I couldn't do it myself. It was either that or a healthcare worker, and so my mum. But no telephone, nothing. I was allowed paper, and that was it. Oh, and dice to play Yahtzee.
Well, how did it feel to literally have no rights?
Awful, worst feeling ever. You just want to give up. You just go, I'm nothing. I have less. Prisoners have more rights and they've gone and hurt someone. I must be a really bad person. Maybe it's true. I do choose this and I deserve to die. Because prisoners here who have taken the life of someone get more. And so.
It's really, really bad. What keeps you going day by day? What kept you going?
My drive to help others. I want to now become a nurse and do that so that I can try lift this misunderstanding and help those. Like, I see them around, like I can spot them from a mile away, any sufferer, and I'm just like, but you can't send them anywhere because there is nowhere to send them. There is nowhere for them. Until you get sick, then the medical ward will have you until you put something in your mouth and they're like, oh yeah, they're all better now, and then they'll let you go.
Right, they just don't understand. Now you're studying to be a nurse. What would your dream job be? Would it to be a nurse, or would it to kind of take eating disorder girls and boys under your wing? Yeah,
and educate, go around and educate every schools, mainly schools. My school was awful.
Right, just turned a blind eye to it.
No, they just said I was attention seeking and pretty much said I couldn't go back because I was too hard on everyone else. So.
Gosh, yeah, must have been really tough. So, what was it that made your recovery so much better? Because I remember you said that you were down in Nelson and you went to Sydney, was that right?
Yep.
So was that a turning point in your life?
To go, I think hitting rock bottom and knowing that you were going to die, like getting up I would go to bed at night and have my mum on the phone to me so that she'd be the last person I spoke to if I didn't wake up, because I wanted her to be the last one. But I did wake up, so I was fine. But no, yeah, that's when I decided I can't do this, and if anyone else has to suffer, I can't see anyone suffer. So that was the turning point. And you just have to embrace the treatment over in Sydney because you have no choice but to eat, or else they kick you out and you're left to die. And I didn't want to die, not for me, but for everyone else out there suffering. They can't suffer in silence.
Wow, you're very selfless. So, other than the normal stereotypes, what makes you different from the average teenage girl or average young woman?
Everything. I pretty much am 22 but living like a 12-year-old. Like I missed out on all that because from 17 to pretty much 21 I lived in and out of hospitals. So I've missed out on all that, and even now going to uni I don't have those friendships because I'm not like them. I don't do the drugs because I don't speed or I don't drive, I don't drink because I value not health so much, but like that I'm alive too much. That
I value life.
Yeah, I don't want to do that, and so they look at me and go, okay, she's strange, we'll stay away from her. So I've missed out on all that. But like my younger sister, she made all her milestones before me. Got the boyfriend, had her kiss, everything like that. I'm still waiting for that. Maybe mistletoe. I'll get some mistletoe.
Oh. What was it like with your younger sister, kind of, going ahead with her life? Was that hard for you?
Occasionally, it only ever really got really hard is when she started going, oh, you've been sick, and making it like she's had it really, really hard. And to be fair, she probably has had it hard, like having a sick. She's never really understood it, but then it's like, if only she didn't have to live with it in her head 24/7. Like, it's not like you choose to have those thoughts and you choose to do it all the time.
Essentially, she can escape.
Yeah, she has other outlets of happiness, whereas that was mine.
Right. What are some of your day-to-day struggles? Like, you get up in the morning, I mean, what do you struggle with?
Oh crap, I gotta get up. Then you go, oh no, it's breakfast.
Right.
Yeah, so it pretty much starts from day one, and then at the end of the day, you're just constantly going, okay, I can have this many more calories, or this many less calories tomorrow. That's my plan. That's what I do to get through each day. As I go, okay, I've had this many today. If I really don't feel good in the morning, I won't have that many today. And then I say the same thing to myself the next day. Okay, I had this many today. If I don't want to have that many tomorrow, I won't have it. It never happens. Tomorrow always comes and I go, okay, I've got to just do this, because you feel more revitalized.
Oh, do you, when you wake up, do you not want to eat? Or is it a fight for you to eat?
Yeah, because also, I'm like, if I having something, then I've got to burn it or something,
Right.
and I'd rather not have to worry about burning energy. I'd rather just be able to focus on my study. And that's the thing, if you have food, then you come with all the thoughts and you can't concentrate on what you need to be doing, which is my work.
Essentially not eating, do you struggle with, with uni and with day-to-day things, just concentrating, staying awake and those kind of things?
If I eat, I find it harder to concentrate because I'm too busy preoccupied. Oh my gosh, I just had that,
Right.
this is bad. Whereas if I don't, I can go and I can just be like,
You can block
smack.
it off. Wow. If there was a young girl or boy watching right now, what would be some advice or something you'd want to reach out to them and tell them?
Speak out. Tell people, don't just, I know it's going to be hard because you don't want help when you're losing and you think you need to so badly, but just tell at least one person, just one, and hopefully that one. And if they don't listen, try someone else, because eventually you'll get that help. And don't listen to all those who say that it's attention seeking, because maybe it is attention for some people, but to do that to yourself for attention, you must have some issues, and they need to be
Addressed.
Yes.
Great. Thank you so much for joining me today, Sam. Your story is truly inspiring, and I hope a real eye-opener to the public health system.